Oh, Tannehill, your future makes us swoon. You throw when summer days are bright. You throw when winter snow is white. Oh, Tannehill, sidestep tip passes and we'll love you. Oh, Tannehill, you give us so much pleasure. You're not Cleo Lemon on the run. You're not lame Joey Harrington. Oh, Tannehill, please bring us NFL treasure. Oh, Tannehill, you fill our hearts with music. Okay, you aren't RG3. Okay, you aren't Andrew Luck. Well, we don't give a darn. We love you, oh, Tannehill.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. You came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west side, take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Not so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
Happy Greg Cody Tuesday.
Yeah.
We started the Shadow Show with a throwback to an ode to Ryan Tannehill from how many years ago was that, Greg?
Boy, that's a while ago. I referenced Joey Harrington and Cleo Lemon, so we gotta research that. That's
It was the year he was drafted. It was like the season leading up to his rookie year.
Yes.
okay. So when was that? 09 or something?
You said he wasn't as good as RG3.
Yeah.
I know that too dates the song.
You had a big smile on your face listening to that song.
I had completely forgotten that was a song that I sang.
2012 was when that song was created. I got to admit, Stugotz, I wonder if you had the same reaction as I did. Joey Harrington, names that make me smile. I don't know. I heard Joey Harrington. I remember it took me back to another time.
I think there's a sneaky game. I know 90s baseball players make us smile, but I've been reading this Aaron Rodgers book, and there are so many great names that get me to smile. O.J. Atogwe.
That'll
J.J.
make me smile.
Arrington.
Yes.
Tully Banta-Cain.
Right. I would say Cleo Lemon is actually the name that makes me smile in that song.
It does.
Yes.
It's just the perfectly ghastly name for a professional athlete to have.
Devin Aromashadu.
I want to play this game. I want to play this game for this entire day. Now, we've got a big show for you guys today. We're going to play that Raheem Mostert interview.
Yes.
A little bit later.
Are you asking?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm just confirming. Right. We also got a continuation of the Sueys. Yesterday was a strong day.
Yep.
Strong day. Dismissals and best fakes. Stugotz, they undersold you on the dismissals. Everyone's like, Billy's coming this year, and Billy had some great dismissals. Yeah. But then it was backloaded with Stugotz again and again and again. It felt like Michael Jordan in the fourth quarter.
Well, it's that category is just always such a Stugotz category that you like to mention the people that are coming for the title. Like I agree with you. There's no one comes for the Stugotz title.
I'm not there.
No, but I love that you have a flurry of Stugotz takes at the very end of that. I think that's what it means talking about. It made me feel good. You lowered the bar. Like listen, people around here think perhaps I had a bad year. Go listen to best dismissals, okay? I had a year.
And Stugotz,
did I have a year? I dismissed at the highest of levels.
Around Suey week, the hardest thing for me is when someone just walks by me and they mutter something that I forgot to put in the Sueys. And Stugotz hit me with that yesterday. He was like, "Oh, dismissal, good category. You forgot Joe Mauer."
He did.
I was like, "Oh my god!"
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Information that would have been helpful yesterday.
No one asked.
What we should do on Mystery Crate this week is behind the scenes of how the Sueys are created. Because even let's just assume that Joe Mauer had been in there. The lining up of what comes where, that tells a story too. That creates because it felt like a prize fight. And here comes Billy. Oh, what a big right overhand. Oh my God! And Stugotz' little days. And we come back, and now it's the 11th round, and all of a sudden,
Shohei.
I am rattled, because I walked in today, and every Tuesday I could bank on a couple of things: a smiling Greg Cody and a hug from Greg Cody.
Okay.
And today I walked in, and for the first time that I can remember, Greg Cody was in a bad mood.
A bad mood.
A sour mood. And I thought he was mad at me. He didn't get up. He barely said hello. There was no hug. There was no embracing. And so I don't know if you experienced the same Greg Cody as I did, but I am wondering what is going on this morning with Greg Cody.
I walked in the studio, and I know I'm sitting in Dan's seat, so I got to do the Dan leaky faucet thing. I saw Greg and Chris hissing at each other. At each other. And I just said, this must be some, family circumstances. Let me give them their privacy and walk out. I came back in, sat down, and I found Greg voice dictating to his phone about needing an extension for the trade deadline, and I really need a yes from you. I don't know.
Oh, you heard him campaigning to my brother because he just voted yes in the group chat. So you texted Michael looking for that yes.
Unabashedly, I did. But there was no strong
arming.
I just said, if you agree that we should extend the trade deadline, please go in the group chat and vote yes now, because the commissioner put a arbitrary noon deadline today on voting yes. Even though I'm working and I barely have time to campaign.
Now you're making this more confusing. Let me try to make this as simple as possible. We have a keeper league, and there's a trade window before the keeper league in case you have a plethora of keepers. And you're like, I can only keep 4, but I have 6. I can get some value now, trade away. And a couple weeks ago, I sent out an email saying this trade window is open from till August 23rd. 2 weeks, so it's from the 9th to the 23rd. I gave the dates of when it, and then what else can I do there? The email.
You can send out a reminder the day before.
Like Roger Goodell on the, I'm sure that Adam Silver calls every team on the day of, and it's like, hey guys, this is your last day to make a move.
Yeah, because a family and friends fantasy league is akin to the NFL.
If there's no rules, what are we? What are we without rules?
Was that your limited fake Adam Silver, by the way?
But I'm just saying. So now my dad is pressuring through this group text, every one of my friends and people in our family of just threatening to quit the league.
No, I'm not threatening to quit.
I screwed up. I now am going to lose keepers because I just didn't do the trades when I was supposed to. So now I'm going to pressure everybody to vote to extend this trade deadline.
No pressure.
So, Chris, you should know he's got a sheet of paper. It's like a grid.
Right. He's crossing off names.
And it's like House of Cards.
That's Choprat right there.
How many yeses do I need to get?
One no vote. See all the pressure? Everyone's voting yes for him because people, even though it benefits other people in the league, like, oh, wow.
Then why are people voting yes?
Because you're Greg Cody and everyone doesn't want to upset you.
Maybe you're wrong, Chris.
Right.
I disagree. First of all, I haven't voted. I'm the commissioner. I'm trying to stay out of this.
How are you going to vote?
That's a fine, by the way.
I'm hoping that they get enough votes without me having to vote.
Because which way would you hope it goes? If it's a tie, which way are we going?
If it comes down to your vote.
Yeah.
I think it's a no because it's unfair for the league. There's a window. It's just because he screwed up now, it's just, hey, let's extend this.
But you agree if I get the majority vote, which is 7,
yes.
that, okay, you're not going to bitch and moan.
Right. No,
wow.
I let the league. I want the league to speak, but it's like I think you're pressured. I don't think a lot of these people voting yes actually want it. I think they're just giving into you because
in fairness, because it's fair.
Not fair.
I mean, no one wants Greg out of the league. He's the star of the league. I mean,
but I see what Chris is saying. Chris is saying that he's leveraging his celebrity by saying if we don't change this rule, I walk, and no one wants to see Greg walk either.
Greg never said that.
If another team was pulling this, you would be the first person this is bullshit. If you had major deals in the window and some other team was doing this, you would be the loudest voice.
It could be
being anti this. That's the part that is annoying.
Hey, man. Hey, we vote in our best interest. That's what makes democracy beautiful.
Yes, and we are a democracy, at least for now.
But at least
Juju Gotti's actually in the league and hasn't voted yet.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Juju, if you're listening, because there's an arbitrary noon deadline on the vote,
you're not going to
go into the Keeper League group chat and vote yes, Juju.
We're not going to use this show.
I will also say, my understanding is Chris is sending you away to run errands during this window, so he's not even giving you full time to make said adjustments.
No, not at all. So I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question to Greg, because every Tuesday he comes in with a list of topics that he's hot on, he wants to talk on. And the number one bullet on the list is Dolphins fans ranked 6th of 124 on the misery index. I Googled this. I looked around. I was trying to figure out, did Sports Illustrated do this? Well, I guess they don't do stuff anymore. All they do is aggregate. I said, did ESPN do this? Where is this misery index?
It's my creation. I invented it.
Wait, what?
Yeah. No, I devised a fan index, a fan misery index.
Right. FMI. Right.
Yeah, right. And by my reckoning, I researched all 124 teams in the NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB.
That's 4.
I thought about including MLS and WNBA and everything, but they hadn't stood the test of time. They'd only been around 20, 25 years. So I went with the traditional Big 4 teams.
Okay.
Researched all 124 teams, and by my metric, the Dolphin fans ranked number 6 on the misery index.
So before we get into the details of the misery index and the methodology behind it, who are the 5 teams ahead of the Dolphins who are more
Good
miserable?
Question. Yeah.
You know what? I can tell you that, but I would have to look up the
You
column
do that.
I wrote.
You do
While
that.
he does it, that ding you just heard was Juju voting yes. So
Okay.
now it looks like my
Yes!
dad has 7 votes, and this stupid trade deadline is going to get extended.
Democracy.
It is democracy, Billy. Thank you.
This is actual democracy. This is just shadiness going on
Yes,
in the
no.
background.
I didn't
Glad-handed.
pressure anybody.
Worked out his way.
I just happened to. I mean, I'm
You don't
running
like
like a Cheshire cat here.
So you created this misery index, and you
Yes.
have to look it up. You don't know the 5
I
teams.
don't know offhand. I mean, I will
a lot of
tell you
teams.
in
That's
just a
5.
second.
I mean, you owe $50, just so you know. Yeah.
All right, sorry. All right, here it is right here. Okay.
I love the obliviousness. That's my favorite part.
I can actually give you a top 10 if you want.
Oh, let me.
Okay.
Okay.
Or a bottom 10, I should call it.
Do you want to explain your misery index?
No,
I
no.
know you explained how you went about it, but is it the most miserable fan base? Like, what is it?
It's the fans who have the right, in my opinion, by my
That's
metric,
6.
to be the most frustrated.
Okay.
Okay, and
Got
we
it.
have. I can tell you the 3 categories.
So the fan bases that have the right to be the most frustrated with their teams.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Good.
Okay.
Right.
Now, do you want me to do it from 10 to 1 or 1 to 10?
10 to 1. Let's
Okay.
get the fanfare ready, Chris, please. Here we go.
Okay,
Number 10.
It's actually a tie for 9th. So-
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
the tie for 9th
This is big.
is the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Jeez, you've got the Dolphins fans is more miserable than Pirates fans at 7.
And the Washington Wizards.
Interesting.
Number 8,
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh.
Number 7, Minnesota Vikings. Number 6, Miami Dolphins. Number 5, Toronto Maple Leafs. Number 4, Atlanta Hawks. Number 3, Cleveland Browns.
You got to have fans to be miserable.
Number 2, New York Jets.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And number 1, despite their playoff win last year, the Detroit Lions.
Wow. That's 7.
So they're currently worse than the Jets. I don't know.
Oh, that's 8. My fault.
They're more miserable right now than Jets fans. It's interesting.
The
Yeah.
Lions fans?
Lions fans, yeah.
I can now the methodology.
Yes.
Right. Very important.
The most points wins or loses depending on your point of view.
There are multiple categories you can score points in.
Right. There are 3 categories.
Okay, that's
The
9.
Miami Dolphins accrued 112 points to rank 6th.
Okay.
The 3 categories are most consecutive seasons since the last playoff victory,
All right.
most consecutive seasons since the last league championship,
Okay.
and most consecutive seasons since the last championship game appearance.
Okay. So the Lions won a playoff game last year.
Yes,
Right.
but they haven't won a championship or been in a championship game in 66 years. So that's times 2, so that's 132, which was the losing total.
I like
Got it.
I like it.
That's an interesting methodology there. Are you counting St. Louis for the Atlanta Hawks?
No,
Championship?
no, that's a very astute question by you. it's a fan index. So I make
he knows his index.
Yeah, I make it clear in the column that I'm going only by where the team is located now. In other words, Las Vegas Raiders fans don't have to inherit the misery of what the team did in Oakland 40 years ago.
Got it. And by this metric, Dolphins fans are the 6th most miserable among all professional sports.
Yeah, because and I don't know exactly, but roughly the Super Bowl victory drought has been 50-some years. Mm-hmm. The Super Bowl appearance drought has been going on 40 years. The playoff victory drought is an NFL-long 23 years. So those three categories together accrued 112 misery points.
I think that's a fair number for the Dolphins because you have to factor in how passionate the fan base is about the actual team. I don't know if Atlanta cares that the Hawks haven't been good, but I know Dolphin fans are upset the Dolphins haven't been good in a long time. I know Leafs fans are upset that Toronto hasn't been good in a long time.
Right.
Some of these fan bases, I'm not certain they even care enough, you know?
Yeah, that's 10, by the way.
What was the vote?
How much you...
Dad, can you silence your phone so we stop hearing dings?
I'm not hearing dings.
I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear the last 7 dings?
No.
10. The last 10. I've been counting.
All right,
I
just
got
turned
hash
off my
marks
phone.
here, ladies and gentlemen.
Powered off. Sorry.
You only owe, what's that, $1,000?
Okay. Put it on my tab.
10 times 10, $1,000.
So where is Greg
I'll
on
sell you the money.
Where is Greg on the Tannehill thing?
Oh, you know what? They got rid of Mike White, which I thought was an upgrade. Skylar Thompson.
You thought that was an upgrade just getting rid of Mike White?
Well, they're going to...
So having no one.
They're going to keep...
Is better than Mike White.
Having no Mike White is better than having Mike White.
I agree with that.
I assume they're going to keep him on the practice squad.
Shut up, Stugotz. You loved Mike White.
I did not. I never loved Mike White.
Yes,
you guys
you
made,
did.
No, you
if
guys,
Mike White started the entire year, we'd be in the playoffs right now.
Dolphin fans made such a big deal about getting Mike White from the Jets, and I'm like, guys, are you kidding me? He's not that good.
Shut up. Don't make me go back in the logger and find those Mike White shows after those prolific passing efforts.
Perhaps there was that one show.
They let him go.
Game.
They let him go because he was making a lot more than Skylar Thompson, and they're basically the same guy.
Right.
But this has opened the door for a lot of people wondering. And congratulations, Dolphins fans. You've come out of it. After decades upon decades of talking about what the answer is at QB1, we've now shifted the focus to the conversation being QB2. Right. And I'm not being sarcastic. This is a big step.
Yes.
This is like the most interesting thing surrounding the team at this point in terms of like, ooh, what's going to happen here? So I think it'd be really cool for Tannehill, who had a nice career. I think proved himself worthy of that draft pick. Was he the franchise quarterback that Tua turned into? No. But he had a really nice, wonderful career. He's still out there, still available. It'd be a nice way to complete the circle for him.
I feel like this is what the misery index is all about, right? It's the shifting of the conversation from once upon a time, Ryan Tannehill, is he our franchise quarterback, to Ryan Tannehill, should we consider him for our backup job?
Right.
I feel like that should bump you guys lower on the misery index. You guys are getting happier, right?
Yeah, I mean, Tua still has his haters, believe me. There's plenty of Dolphin fans who didn't think he deserved the money he got, or that he's all that, or that he might not get injured again. There's Tua haters out there, but I agree with Mike. I think he's a franchise quarterback. As for the backup, as much as I think Tannehill is a valuable veteran who you wouldn't hesitate to put in, I think you keep Skylar Thompson. I think he won the backup.
I think Tannehill is such a big upgrade there. Like, backup quarterback has become increasingly important in the NFL. Joe Flacco last year.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco possibly this year with the Colts.
Right.
I think having Tannehill, Tua, there's no insecurity with Tua. It's his job. They just paid him over $200 million.
There is,
but it's good to have Tannehill backing him up in the event Tua does get hurt.
Exactly. There's the insecurity. The insecurity is his health. The insecurity is that he's a guy who's demonstrated an inability to stay on the field. And so rather than have a guy in Skylar Thompson where you're like, okay, this is a roster spot checked off, you got some comfort. And Tannehill is a bona fide starter in this league. You will not miss a beat if he has to step into that role, no?
Yeah. I think if the league thought as much about Tannehill as you all do, he certainly would have been signed by now.
I think he's sitting around.
Yeah, I think he's got options.
Yeah.
Yes,
and he's weighing them.
Agreed.
I think
Yes.
in terms of a backup role, like that's top tier in the NFL. I do think that the team would certainly be better And I'd feel better if I were a Dolphin fan if my QB2 was Ryan Tannehill on a team. And last year was a bit of an outlier in that Tua stayed completely healthy, answered some of those questions. But it's not like those questions don't still remain. You want to be able to plug in a guy that you can potentially win a playoff game with. And Ryan Tannehill has shown that. He's gone to an AFC Championship game.
That's the important thing about a backup. It's not, they will lose a step if they go from Tua to Ryan Tannehill. Tua is better than Ryan Tannehill.
You're going to lose a step, Stu, but
no.
I think
can he win you a game or two? Yeah. Can the backup quarterback win you a game or two?
And if you're Tannehill, you can't predict injuries, so why would you commit to a team? Why wouldn't you just sit back like Joe Flacco did last year and just be like, who needs me?
Well, there's a couple reasons. One, you want to keep getting paid. Number two, you want to be familiar with the playbook. Well, you
got like $80 million from the Dolphins.
So you can still get a little bit more. But also you want to be familiar with the playbook. You want to be comfortable when you walk in. You're not learning things on the fly.
You want to play, though.
And by the way, there's no starting jobs out there.
That's why you wait.
Well, I don't know. I'll tell you who also benefits from this, Skylar Thompson. Because I submit to you there's no better job in the NFL than QB3. Dude, all you do is you wear a visor, you hold, you talk, you whisper.
You're 2 hits away. Yeah.
Dude, all you got to do is whisper in some guy's ears. Everyone's like, yo, he's really smart. He's really contributing on the sideline. Dude, I don't do anything. I wear a red jersey in practice. I go against the number 3s. I'm fine.
I was thinking yesterday, I think it was Jared Stidham, that I saw a clip of him just being like, I know I'm a starting quarterback in this league. And I wonder, all these crappy quarterbacks that we look at, in their minds, they think, like, I just need my shot. Like Jacoby Brissett, do you think he's just like,
oh, absolutely,
I'm good being a backup?
No.
Or he's looking in the mirror every day like, give me my opportunity. I'll still be a 5-time Pro Bowler.
He's tasted the blood. He started. He was out there playing, making.
There has to be some quarterback out there that just gets it. I'm not that good. I don't want my guy to get injured ahead of me. I just want to be the backup.
It was Carson Palmer's brother. Remember him? That dude.
Jordan Palmer.
The other Palmer.
Who invented Run P, that app where you can check to see if you could leave the movie theater to go to the bathroom.
The other hallmark of someone who doesn't want to be a starting quarterback. Coming up with app ideas, right? Like this
like predated. It predated apps. This was a website that you would open up in your browser, like, oh, I'm watching Alien Romulus right now. What's a good time for me to go pee and not miss any plot points?
There just has to be a quarterback out there that's just like, I'm no good. I can't believe I'm even a backup. I hope my guy stays healthy because I don't want to get exposed.
Well, I think there's plenty who believe that. I don't think there's many who would admit that.
I don't know. I think in order to be a professional athlete, there is some sort of hubris you have to have baked in. You have to believe. Because think about the odds. How many football players are in the country, in the world, and how many spots there are in the NFL. And then when you talk about quarterback positions, there's only, 32 teams, 3 spots per team. Some teams aren't even carrying a QB3 anymore, right? That's the new thing now. They just carry 2. So when you think about that, you're talking about less than 96 spots in the world to do this. You have to have some sort of delusion about you. Having said that, once you're here, I think there are a lot of guys like...
Not a bad gig.
Yeah, you guys got it. Go ahead, Tua. Tua and Ryan, come in here.
Well, if you're Chad Henne backing up Patrick Mahomes, you have no illusion. But if it's a close race...
Well, hold on. Does Carson Wentz have an illusion? Because he's the backup now in Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, he more so than an old Chad Henne.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Carson Wentz is a good example of a guy like Ryan Tannehill who thinks, I've proven myself in this league. Somebody got to give me another chance. I can still start, you know.
You got Carson Wentz walking into the quarterback room and looking at Mahomes like, you're on thin ice, buddy. You make that mistake, I'm ready. And by the way, does Patrick Mahomes think in the back of his head, wait, this is exactly what happened to Alex Smith. He was the number 1 guy, and national radio hosts were singing his praises. And then I came in, and kind of like Andy Reid is a little bit of like infidelity, right? You cheat. If you get with a cheater, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to get cheated on at some point.
I think Mahomes has total job security.
I don't know.
I think he's pretty good for now.
855 NBA Jump. Let us know if you think Carson Wentz has a chance of stealing the job from Patrick Mahomes.
He's confused why he's not fielding quarterback controversy questions. How's practice, Carson? Good. I'm just putting my best tape out there.
Yeah, he loves the
it's
gig.
A coach's call.
He loves it.
My job is to let Andy Reid know if you've got 2 quarterbacks, that means you've got what, Stugotz?
It means you only. It means you don't have one.
There you go.
Yes. Well said. Nailed it.
By the way, Ryan Tannehill has made nearly $200 million. He's fine on the money front. Man.
I'm telling you right now, every single person, whenever they say he's fine on the money front, he doesn't need more money. Everybody needs more money. Everybody needs more money. There's nobody out there.
Yeah,
the billionaires are
He's
fighting.
right.
Everybody wants more money.
Yeah.
But he wants to be able to play. So the most important thing to him is I want options. Like you're just saying, like he better sign somewhere quick because he just needs to pay the light bill. Like he has the luxury to be like, I'm gonna wait till someone gets hurt.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the idea that A, this is a pretty good bet that this guy's gonna get hurt. But B, you want to be as comfortable as possible. The best version of Ryan Tannehill knows the playbook, isn't learning it like on the flight over from wherever he lives.
But he clearly disagrees with you because he's waiting.
Well,
like if he was like, man, I got to get to know this playbook, he would have signed somewhere.
What are the other jobs?
I think he's just waiting for someone to get hurt.
That's all he's doing.
Like if Jordan Love goes down, boom, I'll be a Packer.
They got Malik Willis.
You don't know that there's a market for Ryan Tannehill.
I think that in terms of backups, like who's better out there? Who's better out there?
He would have signed by now if he had teams coming after him.
Are you saying Tannehill has too much pride where he will not allow himself to be a backup? He has to wait for someone to get hurt?
I think
he's Ryan bleeping Tannehill.
I think he looks at himself as I'm the best backup out here right now. As soon as anybody gets hurt, people are going to come calling to me.
Well, he's not a backup then.
Everybody's got a backup quarterback. Why do they need to call somebody who's a free agent who hasn't been signed in a whole offseason?
I feel like what I'm saying is not crazy.
They'll call Brady first.
The best backup waits. Guys and gal.
Yo.
I just saw something very exciting.
What happened?
I just scrolled by on Twitter. The Miami Heat today at noon in Pembroke Pines are looking for the hippest, coolest, young at heart, senior citizen dancers to be part of the Heat Golden Oldies.
Wow.
You know that's Charlotte
Where's
Wilder's.
Poppy at? What's the age thing? Can we get Dan in there?
That's Charlotte Wilder's favorite. That's like
Oh,
she
it's the
goes to
best.
Heat games and she goes nuts.
They're always
anytime.
wearing something. They start
Every
dancing
time.
midway through.
Right. So Poppy's not here. Dan is up in New York. He is covering Jets and Giants training camp for us.
Hold on, let me read. There's requirements here. Must sign a waiver. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Oh, must be 60 years of age.
Discrimination.
I'm out.
At one point, Dan's mother was going to try out.
Dan's mom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
How old are you?
I'm older than 60.
Ooh. Wow.
Don't go there.
What do you
No,
mean?
don't even go there.
It's today,
You
though.
got your dancing shoes on?
I have
Haven't
my
we been talking
my
about
deck shoes.
a big birthday coming up?
Wait a second.
I'm
Wait a
afraid to show
second.
those cards.
Wait a second. Yeah.
You could use a tryout as like prep. I'm getting my dancing shoes ready for my big 70th party.
I don't dance.
But you're gonna have to at this party.
That's
Wow.
just a technicality.
No, that's shocking to me. I imagine Greg Cody to be a great dancer.
Really?
Yes.
That's
Really?
odd.
I don't know why.
I hide on a dance floor.
Didn't
Really?
you dance
Wow.
in Vegas when they came out with the band and stuff? You did a little jig, didn't you?
I may have. I mean, I have my hokey dance moves, but they're not really.
Oh, with the hand, like as a tail kind of thing?
Yeah.
Wait, can you paint that picture for us, hiding on the dance floor? Like, how do you do that?
Okay, the only
How do you
time
do
I
that?
dance is after several drinks at a wedding reception.
Okay,
Done.
right.
If the dance floor is really crowded with 30 or 40 people,
Yeah.
I will go up there with my wife during what I know to be a short song. We will meander toward the middle of the dance floor so that if you're sitting at a table judging people dancing, you can't see me.
Right.
I'm 5'9".
Love it.
I'm in the middle of a throng of people. I'm doing my little dance. Can't wait for the song to end. It's a 2.5-minute song, so I'm good. And then we sit down again.
I was always under the impression that you
Check.
don't want to be in the middle of the floor because the middle of the floor is kind of like, hey, this is where the best dancers are. If you're on the edges, people don't really pay attention. And also, there's a table right next to you. You can sit down if you feel like it's not going as well.
Yeah, but you're on the edges and people could judge you, and that's
Yeah.
what he's trying to
No,
prevent.
what do you guys?
Right.
I'm with Amin here. Like, you get judged when you go into the middle.
middle.
Like the circle surrounding, you don't get judged there. That's where you
Yeah.
can just do the Will Smith, like side to side, like this is home right
That's
here.
all I. That's what I do. That's my idea of dancing.
I think we need to do this.
Do what?
Registration starts at 11. It's in Pembroke Pines. It's on your way home. Can we send you?
To the golden oldies.
Yes, come on.
Okay, no. First of all, if I'm being truthful,
Yeah.
not a huge fan of the golden oldies.
What?
That's
That's
not a
not
good
a
start.
Hold
to
on.
it.
Don't say that into a
Greg,
mic. Don't say that
Hold
into a
on.
mic.
No, this is an
Because you can-
opportunity.
Greg, I care about you.
You can pull
this
rank.
is a chance here.
Wait, hang on. He can pull rank. Greg Cody doesn't need to audition. Right. All right? So don't knock the golden oldies because we can just bomb in and say, hey, Greg wants to perform one of these days.
And that's it?
And they'll make it happen.
No, this is even more disrespectful that Greg's too good for the Golden Oldies.
gotta
He should
respect
have
the
to
tryout.
audition
I
like
didn't say
everyone
that.
else.
Yeah.
Respect
That's what
the
Mike
tryout.
said.
I'm saying he's too busy.
I don't like the idea.
It's got a big deadline.
I don't
They don't
like the
even know that
idea
it's a
of
keeper
putting
deadline.
old people just
Got
because they're
extended.
old.
Yeah.
I mean,
And laughing at the
exploitative?
elderly. Yeah, I'm with Greg. You don't like to just put them out there to perform for people to laugh at.
They're on
No.
display.
Exactly. They're
not-
human beings.
But they're
No.
good dancers,
Aren't
aren't
they
they? I mean,
Yeah.
Aren't they cute?
No, they're
No,
not.
no. They're incredible dancers,
I mean-
first of all. They're better than a lot of young people dancing. Let's throw that
better
out
than
there.
me.
Come,
That's for
I mean,
sure.
they go for cheap pops.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No.
Yeah, you think it's one thing, and then they rip off their pants and they start twerking their
It
asses.
shocks me every time. I'm like, oh, another outfit.
I know that's
Greg,
weird.
you
a
could
little
change
one
them
note.
from within.
Yeah, drain the swamp, Greg.
Look.
I'm going to go see if we have the video ability to
No,
do this today. I don't care what my dad says.
No. Greg, from a content standpoint alone, like I get Rose, get Mike Fuentes, somebody out here with a camera just to watch you go through this audition. I think we could get some good stuff out of here. And I think you're underselling your dancing capabilities.
I think they're trying to make you the golden oldie of the golden oldies, if we're going to be perfectly honest. I think they want to send you out there to a bunch of people who are dancing and then look at you specifically and say, oh, isn't Greg cute?
No, yeah, I'm the kind of guy who would tank the audition.
Really?
We know how
the
it's
less-
not make the
you-
team?
You actually think that I'm going to be a season-long golden oldie?
Why not?
That's a great bit that we just gave
It
you
is.
a new job.
Hold
Showing
on.
up at 41 games to dance?
I don't think they're at all of them.
They're
are they?
not they're
There's
not
a great
all-
setup. You start dancing to Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. The fans are appreciating it. This is nice. This is pleasant. Boom. Music changes. Boom, boom, boom. Get it, shake, shake. And you start twerking your little ass.
Yeah.
Is this like the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, though, where they don't pay you well?
I have
And they
no
just
idea.
expect you to
Absolutely.
perform?
Ladies and gentlemen, anybody who performs regularly at an NBA, NFL, MLB, or NHL game, they get paid shit. It's like $50 a game or something like that.
I don't do it for the money.
No, you do it
I get
because
to go to the game.
Free
Greg,
tickets.
wouldn't
That's
you
what
love to go to the
Charlotte
game?
Jones says to Chris.
I'm just imagining Tim Reynolds writing his column and looking up like, oh, the golden. Is that? What the hell's Greg doing down there?
I'm glad you went down this path because that's where my brain has been kicking around. Everyone's like, Greg, you should go. We should get some good content. You should go. What if he makes the team? What if he?
I think he'd make
What if
the
he's
team.
a great
No.
dancer?
I think he'd be the captain.
What if we're robbing people of your gift?
Get the C
I
on your
just got the
chest.
thumbs up from Carl. We are doing this. You're leaving after this segment.
So, Greg, just if
Wow.
this helps at all, Greg, they only perform 10 games per season.
There you
That's
go.
about 9 too many for me.
Does Greg have any
kidding?
sort of choice in the matter? Greg,
I don't want to do it.
Think
No.
you can leave here early, head home, but just stop at this
You
place
really-
on the way there.
what if they
It is
dance to
closer
Jimmy
to home.
Buffett?
Yeah.
Does that change the
Lovely
attitude
cruise.
at all?
I'm a bad dancer to any song.
Chris,
Any tempos.
I feel
love
like
this.
this is a good opportunity to talk to, some of your, fellow dancers here about Fred Astaire and the like, where you don't necessarily have those connection points here.
Sure.
It's like a real life back in my day. You get to have that conversation. Everyone else is just a chorus of yeses, and I remember that as well.
This was a real failure from the commissioner because he could have leveraged this to get Greg the keeper rule pass.
Oh, that would have been.
Yeah, that's true.
And he would have done it.
Instead, he was actively against me.
So you're in? Come on, content
He said
first.
quite the opposite.
We'll put a clip out for the Greg Cody Show Twitter,
Dan's out
too.
of town, so Amin is in charge. Amin, is Greg going to this thing or not?
I'm telling you right now, I don't give a shit what's happening out there, what they're cutting up, what Sueys they get coming up later. I need people to accompany him to that tryout. Do we have?
Will the Heat allow cameras there? Are we just going to do this?
Absolutely.
And hope
I'll make the call. I'll call Spo right now.
But Greg doesn't want to do
above
it.
Spo's the one to call. That's
I'll call the
there
one
you
that
go.
gave us the list of centers that are better than Bam, whoever that was.
If Pat Riley is judging it, I'll be there. How's that?
Huh.
Many people don't know that this is actually Spo's call. It falls under his responsibilities as head coach.
I think Pat is trying out.
Is Andy Ellisberg giving him a scouting report?
There's a budget, and look, you can use this. You're a marquee name.
Greg, you should leverage this situation because, like, football season's right around the corner. I don't know your situation with the bucket of death. I'm sure you have outstanding penalties still. If not, you have some coming up. Maybe you say, you know what? I'll go do this in exchange for nullifying 2 losses this season. This is a payoff.
Hey, Billy, I've got an even better way of doing this. Greg, you know how, as Mike described, they start out wearing one thing and then the music switches, they take the clothes off, and then they start doing a different dance or whatever. You can have a T-shirt underneath that says The Greg Cody Show. With Greg Cody.
Wow.
And so then when you open your shirt, everyone else has like a Golden Oldies shirt. You've got one that's self-promoting. You get followers and listeners and subscriptions and likes and downloads immediately.
Yeah, if I made the team, I would insist on that as a point, as a rider in my contract.
When you make the team. Chris, do we have...
This is awesome, so this is happening.
Do we have details of what's expected?
What's involved?
Yeah.
How long do I have to be there?
Does he just go and dance? And
Auditions
that's it?
start at noon. Registration starts at 11. The auditions start at noon. Required attire: a red, black, or white outfit. Dance or athletic. You have dance shoes on.
I have a black outfit.
Okay.
And
Check.
He's got
athletic shoes. Dance
What's
shoes.
on your shirt, Greg? What is that?
It's a group I like, Toots and the Maytals.
You can talk about that.
Toots Thielman's saxophone.
I'll dance.
With the other people
54,
trying out.
46 was my number.
It says dance or athletic shoes with non-slip, non-marking soles.
All I have is my deck shoes.
All right. Well, we'll just roll the dice there.
All right.
Okay.
There's no mark. That's
Can
not
you do a
marking.
kick? Can you do like a kick line, Greg?
Ooh,
Maybe
great
to warm
question.
up?
Conga line?
I can kick.
Deck
Like the
shoes are
Rockettes?
specifically designed to not mark.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're deck shoes.
Oh, wow. What they do. We require 6 golden oldies minimum to be booked for all appearances, but you may book as many as 20.
Wow.
They can perform 2 routines maximum per hour. Golden oldies will interact and enthuse your guests. Golden oldies will sign autographs and take photos with your guests.
Greg, that's right
Your
up your
wheelhouse,
alley.
man.
Come on, man.
Hold on a
You've been waiting
second.
for this your entire life.
Wait, so this isn't even for the games? This is for, like, just appearances?
No, I think this is for the games, but this is just the guidelines, and they're just like looking
I think
out for them.
I think this is a side hustle. I think you could have the Golden Oldies out to like a birthday party.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. Like it's mostly games, but there can be other
There can be other
Right.
appearances.
Greg, you show up to this thing. Mike is right. You show up, okay? It starts at 12, but you're done at 12:05. You just show up and tell them you want to be on the team. You're on the team.
Can I get a private audition so I don't have to audition before?
We'll
other
send you
oldies?
there, and we'll send Jeremy to. Is Jeremy here? We're gonna. I'll call Jeremy. I'll get Jeremy to go with you. He's in on those with those Heat people.
Yeah, he knows the Heat.
And we'll figure it out.
This sounds like something Jeremy would love, by the way.
Yeah.
You should just dress him up like an old person.
He should. He would do it because he's theatrical. He loves to dance.
But we'll send
I'm
him with
neither.
you, and he'll be your handler.
I would only consider doing this if the Heat know about this ahead of time. Like they're not surprised because 5 people from the Le Batard Show are walking.
We have
into
good
their
relationship with
audition.
them. We're
Greg,
gonna roll the dice.
It says here if the event is more than 25 miles from the Kaseya Center, mileage is to be paid by the client at the rate of 56 cents per mile.
Wow.
Boom.
There you go.
This tryout seems like it's 25 miles from the Kaseya Center.
Should Golden Oldies incur any miscellaneous expense, i.e. parking and or valet charges, it is the client's responsibility to cover such costs.
What about hip replacements?
Trips that require air travel will be arranged on a case-by-case basis, so they might be getting you some flights. out here.
Playoffs?
Get
Who's
flued out.
flying the Golden Oldies anywhere?
I love this.
I
All right,
hate-
so it's settled.
All right. Do you have someone ready?
I got a thumbs up from Carl. So
all right,
that's
there we
all
go.
that's all I
who's
need.
going with me to insulate me?
We'll figure that out.
No, I want to know.
Chris, you should have to go.
I'm gonna.
We'll figure it out.
Do they just tell them that is it a dance till you drop kind of situation? Do they have to
Hopefully
do routines?
not.
They give them.
Greg,
I
isn't
don't
that
know.
a thing from like the
would be
olden days,
terrible.
like the dance 24-hour dance marathons, and like the last couple standing would win?
Yeah, there used to
Did you
be
ever go
that.
to one of those?
There used to be that.
Did you have them dancing until they dropped dead?
No, I'm not. No,
There
you
used
guys
to be
are
dance
dark.
marathons. Jess is right.
You guys'
Thank you.
algorithms are all messed up. No, I was just saying like until you tap out or whatever, or
Tap out.
or do they give you routines? Is there a routine that you got to do?
That's what I would like to know. What am I getting myself into here? What do I have to do?
I'll keep reading.
Well, it looked like on the flyer there was a prep session last week that we may have missed. So I fear that the other contestants will be showing up a little bit more prepared
Have a
than
leg up.
Greg. Literally.
I trust Greg, his ability to think on his feet and learn on the fly. This is, if anything, he's proven over the years that he's an adaptable human being.
Yeah.
Who you give him a set of circumstances and he'll get used to it.
I'm so happy this is happening.
You have to guarantee me that there will be no media there.
Well, you'll
because
be
if,
there.
If
Well,
Ari Odzer from NBC6 is there,
Right.
and I'm on the
You're
6
out.
o'clock news doing this,
Yeah.
it will be mortifying.
It's Will Manso.
Great name choice.
No, I can guarantee Ari will be there.
Yeah.
and Will Manson.
What
That
else
guy's
is Ari
everywhere.
doing?
I will
mean-
tip him off.
No, please don't. Please. No. Don't you dare. Because Ari would show up.
He would. And he's been tipped.
No.
Greg, we should make a bargain. If you
He'd
go
show up
today,
without being tipped. I mean,
Now, he might be 60. Maybe he's dancing.
If you go today, you will we'll do this deal on Dan's behalf. Dan will do this when he turns 60.
Okay.
You do it today.
Oh,
I'm going to hold you to that.
next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this.
Next year.
Deal.
This is the old Wimpy from Popeyes, right? I will gladly pay you for a burger today.
That's
With 2 burgers tomorrow, whatever. However he said.
I'll gladly give you $2 tomorrow for a burger today.
yeah,
That's how it
good
is.
reference by Amin.
Thank you.
Christopher, you do have to promise me that the Heat will be forewarned about this, that we're not just
No.
showing up.
I'm texting Jeremy right now. He'll talk to his people. You'll be fine.
What if he
Because I don't want to disrespect
That if
the
worst
other
case they don't let you come,
oldies.
like we're not gonna. But if they say no, we will listen to them.
You're not by doing it this way. You're honoring the.
You're
the
gonna go
tryout
at
program.
11 and
Trying
sign
out.
up.
Yeah.
You're not demanding you make the team. You're
Right.
going.
You
you're
followed my
all
instructions.
trying out.
Right.
Right. You're
The
on the
optics would
team.
have, the optics would have been bad if you
Right.
did what I suggested, which is just bomb in and use your fame. But no, you're doing this the right way.
Greg, you're showing that you put your pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody
Yeah,
else.
I don't though. I put my pants on 2 legs at a time.
Do
Really?
you?
Yeah, I do.
Sitting
Really?
down?
You
Sit
jump?
down and do it, huh?
No, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And one, it has to be exact.
Right.
Like pant leg can't be leading by more than 3 inches.
They have
Yeah.
to be even the
What if
entire
one
time.
leg gets
right.
caught in that thing with like
Yeah.
the shorts?
That happens.
around?
Yeah.
Especially with
The
a new
seam.
pair of pants.
So you start over.
I had Christopher and Michael holding either side of the pants, and then you from a platform above jumping down and
That'd be good.
landing.
That might work with the big fat-legged bib overalls or something. I've never worn a bib overall in my life.
Really? Why
my
not?
dad used to wear bib overalls.
Wild Bill?
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Wild bib. You okay?
Oh, damn.
Listen.
That's
got
a good
the-
laugh.
Till he drops.
Get it out.
Well, bib.
Wild Bib used to wear them for work purposes or just a fashion?
Just for fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Shirt or no shirt?
No shirt.
Really?
No, I'm
Oh,
just
that's
kidding.
how you do it.
No, he wore a shirt.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, flannel.
Straw hat.
That's a
Red
chafing nipple nightmare with no shirt.
Yeah, we don't like the no shirt look under any circumstances.
Ever?
No, I shower with a shirt on.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no, I do.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I do.
in your pool.
Well, I wash my hair in my pool.
Yeah.
And then I'm usually shirtless, but not always.
Then transition to the shower, put a shirt on. Nice fresh shirt.
That's right.
Take the shower, rest of the shower.
Pants on 2 legs at a time.
Yep.
What if you're the
Chris
golden
and
oldie that
Michael.
has to like lift up the shirt to show your belly?
That ain't gonna
Oh
happen.
no!
No?
Wait, that
that
is
a
a
thing?
move. That is a thing they do sometimes.
You have such a marquee belly button, though.
You do.
Oh,
It's a draw.
It seems like Amin knows the full routine. How well are you familiar with this?
I've
group?
watched 8 billion Miami Heat games, and it feels like the Golden Oldies are at every game, even though I know that's not the case. Look, they are a well-oiled machine. Now, Greg, I'm going to tell you right now, it's the Miami Heat, so they don't like the blade of grass that sticks up the wrong way. They want everybody moving in unison. So you're going to have to show that you can conform a little. Yeah. But there is a way to be a star within conformity. Don't let people tell you that means you got to be bland and uniform. You can still pop while still going with the flow.
I assume that the people auditioning today would be newcomers, right? Like their first time auditioners.
They probably make veterans re-audition, I would guess.
Well,
that's what other cheer squads do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Wait, do you get past the first cut at least or something? Like there's got to be some. Wow.
You don't even have a first round bye.
So you made the team last year. You're starting from scratch this year? That doesn't seem right.
That doesn't seem fair at all.
I feel like there's politics involved in that, though. You know what I mean? Like, you have to try out, but...
Guess who's good at politics?
Who?
Gregory Cody.
Wow.
Look at that sheet.
7 votes, baby.
Greg, if you had to do like an audition to one song and it was like your signature song and like your signature audition dance, what song would you choose?
Maybe King of the Road.
Wow, that's a good one.
Sailors for Lawrence.
I guess dance to this.
Room to let 50 cents.
What are you dancing to this?
I don't know what I don't have a
shimmy?
dance move.
It would seem that the music you liked was not necessarily dancing friendly.
Oh, yes, it is.
Thank you, Billy.
No, it is.
It is? Okay.
Oh,
I'm wrong.
They waltz and they kind of ballroom
Doesn't
dance.
listen to that, guys. He listens to stuff like he's wearing a Toots and the Maytals shirt right now.
To
like
film it.
he's got a deeper catalog. He's not listening to chamber music or
It is true.
polka.
It is true. Mike's right.
Oh, he's a hip hop fan. He likes Beck. Like he's got rhythm.
Why are you getting so defensive?
Because he's got like it's just
I'm
what
a
you're
loser,
presenting
baby.
is just not true.
Sorry.
He likes LCD sound system. He likes music with like some 808s.
North American
in it.
scum. You're welcome.
This is very exciting. I mean, you're going to be a golden oldie. I mean,
We hope not.
we hope so.
No, you have to try your best. Don't go out there and tank it. Don't tank it.
If Greg's going up there, he's going to try his best. I mean, what's the point?
I mean,
right? How can we incentivize you to try your absolute best? What's an incentive you'd like?
I wish I knew more about what I'm getting into. Like, am I just in a line kicking my leg with other oldies, or am I doing a routine all by myself? Like, just...
Well, we've established that you don't like being all by yourself, right? You hide on the dance floor is the way you put it.
Yes.
I think there's a way to make it work, though, with a dance troupe, because they usually put the best dancers front and center. And as you move further to the back, those are the weaker dancers back there. So I'm going off of all my Golden Oldies experience watching all these Miami Heat games. So don't think that, like, hey, if I get on this team, they're going to put me front and center and then I have to lead this thing. They hide you.
So there are bad Golden Oldies, you're saying?
There are ones that are not as good as the best ones. The best ones are really good.
That's reassuring.
It's like bench players on an NBA team.
Yeah.
I mean, right.
So the best ones are probably like former Rockettes at Radio City Music Hall.
Or just people who love the art form.
Yeah.
You know?
That ain't me, babe.
You make your demands, Greg. You tell them where you want to play. That's it. You know? I want this spot. If you make the team.
He's going to make it, but you got to try. I feel like I'm talking to my kid right now. Like, you can't just go in there with a defeatist attitude. You got to go in there and try.
Inherently, I am going to be embarrassed and embarrass myself, but not willfully. Just by lack of dancing talent.
Okay.
Can we practice a little?
Yeah, we've done this before, but let me see your belly button.
Stand up. Get a little practice in.
All right. For the audio audience.
The only dance move I have is...
That's a signature.
That's a good one.
Do the thing with the tail. The tail.
Tail. That's good. Now drop it down low and torque your little ass.
Is there a sprinkler in there? Anything? I mean,
A little side to side.
You know the sprinkler?
lawnmower?
Hey, that's good, man. You're fluid.
Give us a kick.
You've got a good gait.
Well, don't give him all the goods right now.
You got like a Michael Jackson kick in you or
That's it,
something?
I'm spent.
Don't give him the cow.
What's the
taste
thing
milk.
Snoop Dogg does?
Let's see.
You don't want to
That's
see walk.
it.
Don't see walk.
I
Don't
think
see
that's
walk.
it.
They do that though.
You shouldn't.
Well, guess what?
Just try it. Go ahead. Dad.
2024.
What?
Keep going.
Do the gritty.
I'm out of moves.
What is the thing?
Do the
Snoop?
gritty. I know you know how to do the gritty. I've seen you.
That a boy.
All right.
Yes.
Greg,
Black-
teach me how to Dougie, Greg.
Black Beatles challenge. Go.
I don't know how to do any of that stuff. What is the gritty?
What is the gritty?
What do you think it is? Why don't you do what you think it is, and then we'll say yes or no. What?
Is that it?
That's the gritty. There you go. Nailed it.
That's the gritty.
It's actually not.
It's like the
too far
Heisman too
removed.
small.
Soldier Boy, tell him, Greg.
All spent. That's all my material. See, I don't have to audition now. Just send that tape
think
to
you
the
just made the
Golden Oldie
team.
organizer.
Superman that O.
So, before.
I'm
Wait,
winded.
what time is the audition?
Noon.
And it's across the street.
It's not. It's in Pembroke
Pembroke
Pines.
Pines.
Shit.
It's in another county.
inconvenient.
I mean,
So-
We're doing it though. We're committed.
so he's
I already
got-
see Danny with a backpack on.
So he's got to
ready.
leave
Really?
fairly soon.
Wow.
No.
Danny does always have a backpack.
He
on.
does.
What time do I have to be there?
11 is when registration starts,
And
but
how
just
quickly
leave
can
now.
I leave?
You're gonna leave after this segment and
Well,
go.
well, Greg should have someone register for him, I think.
Well, hold on.
If it doesn't start till noon, can I get there at like 11:55?
That's a great
Yes.
question.
Yeah,
we
you
want to
can.
get. We want to
Yes.
get. We want you to get there around 11:15, 11:30, and we can like go check in with you
Yeah.
and
Set
get
the
a vibe
scene.
check.
It is
Right.
important for you to politic also when you get there.
Right.
You get there 5 minutes before, then the other golden oldies think, oh, this man
Maybe-
thinks he's above us. You need to go and
Yeah.
shake some hands,
In
maybe
the-
find out who the
yeah.
judges are.
In the 11 o'clock hour, maybe you and Jeremy can get the person who's judging this, and we interview them and put a little pressure on them to just make you get on the team.
That's a lot
That's
of
a
work.
Jeremy thing.
I have an idea for you, Greg. Who does Chris have in the keeper league? Because I heard the trade deadline got extended. So maybe if you go, you guys do a little.
I got Chris Olave. I have. Who the hell else do I have? Tyreek Hill.
Nice.
Sounds like a hand lotion, Olave.
Okay.
Ooh,
You're right. Yeah.
Speaking of,
it?
Yeah.
I have
Olave.
another song for you with Olave because of Puka Nakua.
Yeah.
I wanted you to do Olave.
Oh, Olave. Oh. Yeah, we can work that
think
out.
I wish part of
we
this
can make
tryout
that a
was
hit.
singing. You'd be a lock if it was.
Oh, it could be. It could
ahead,
be.
sing.
Olave.
Now dance while you're doing that.
I don't know.
You gotta
no,
dance.
I can't do both.
You can't do
No,
both.
That one's an
No.
easy dance. You just have your one hand on your chest.
Ooh,
and you
I like
kinda-
that.
You kind of
Give it a
Christopher
try, give it a
Walken.
try.
There he goes. Oh.
Yeah, now you got to sing too.
Olave. I have no idea the words of that song.
That's the words.
That's it. That's all I know
Volare.
about that
There's a
song.
great Columbo episode where they're on a cruise and the woman is singing the song while the murderer slips into the cabin and does the murder. It's a very good episode.
The murderer
Wow.
slips. Does it go Olave?
No, the cruise singer sings Volare while the murderer slips into the
Oh.
room. Silent.
Oh, yeah.
You said slips.
And then does the murder.
Slip as in sneakily enters.
Okay.
Ah,
I love the idea of my dad getting there, ready to go, and they're like, "Sorry, sir, no boat shoes."
Good.
So
Then
make-
I'm disqualified from auditioning.
Please
Perfect.
don't make marks.
That's the both worlds.
We
Had to
have
be
time to
home
get your
early.
shoes.
Greg.
I'll do it barefoot. I'll dance barefoot. I don't care.
Problem solved.
What's going on the Greg Cody Show this week?
We have Mario Cristobal on, the Miami Hurricanes football coach. He's unusually candid. It's a very good interview.
Interview cuts out 20 minutes in, just because my dad
true. You
had him.
doesn't have a proper Zoom.
Yeah, and then we
Stugotz
finished,
all of
we finished the interview on the phone. It was weird. The father-son Olympics are coming to a crescendo.
Wow.
And we are trying to settle on a final tiebreaker.
Ooh, there was a
5-5.
tie?
Yeah, it's 5-5. We need a tiebreaker. I have a vote online. The categories are putt-putt, golf.
This is the new and unimproved Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings. Dan Le Batard.
And then that Stafford threw him 25 and 2. Oh, there's a brand new kid in town out of BYU.
Stugotz.
They call him Puka. Puka Nakua. His quarterback is not named Tua. Yeah, he is Puka. Puka Nakua.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
For those of you tuning in live right now, you just turned on the YouTube live stream or wherever you're catching us, and you're saying, wait a second, it's a Greg Cody Tuesday. Where's Greg Cody? We sent him.
He just left.
He's on
He
assignment.
did, yes.
We sent him on assignment to
Yep.
go try out for the Golden Oldies.
He's complaining like, where is this place?
You had to drag him out of here. I
And
mean,
he's just like, wait, I've got to bring my stuff. I'm not coming back. I'm like, Dad, this is in Pines.
He's going to fit in perfectly.
Can you imagine the back in my day material he's going to get out of that? Just being around other
Not
people?
really.
No?
Is he going to be like the young whippersnapper there? Or
Oh, is he
Yeah,
the young
but-
one? No,
I mean, he's 70 and
No, no,
60's
no.
the age.
Yeah.
Oh,
So.
I can't believe you revealed the age.
I mean, we've
We
talked
knew he
about
was
it.
69. We made jokes about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or maybe that was just me.
Jess has been making jokes.
I
in her
feel
head.
less certain now
all
that
year
was
long.
on air.
So we await to hear word from Greg Cody up there of how that process is going. A little bit later today, we've got 2 Suey categories. Chris, one of them is the best back in my day.
Yep, and because I thought my dad would be here, I didn't think we were sending him to try out.
he
But
did one this year?
We had enough. Yeah.
honestly, there was 10 this year.
10 total.
Which, if you think about it, it's not that much. It's like one every 5 weeks.
But weren't like 2 of them AI?
It's less than one a month. You're right.
I ended up cutting 2 of them. So like, there's 8 nominated.
Wow.
So I don't remember I don't
Are,
think they're
are we
AI
gonna
ones.
listen to the full back in my days?
No, I abbreviate them.
Yeah, man, it's curated.
It's about 13 minutes of back in my days we have coming up later in the show.
What's the other Suey?
Best mistake, worst mistake.
Oh,
actually,
boy.
is how we call it.
Well, Stugotz, are you best known for best
I think it's
dismissal?
dismissal. I think Dan owns the mistake category.
Dan.
I
Yeah.
bring it strong
Yes.
this year.
Yeah, really?
I bring it strong this year. In the
Yeah.
mistake
Are there any
category.
better than Vince Wilfork? Or was that most
That was that
uncomfortable
one
moment?
That was uncomfortable last year. That's not
okay.
nominated this year.
Darn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan usually dominates
Oh, Dan
this conference.
And Dan brings it this year, but I give him a fight for his money.
Fight for his money. All right.
Did I say that? Did I not say
I
that?
don't know if
phrase?
you said that
I'm
right.
not
Run
gonna
for his-
lie.
A
I
run
watched.
for damn it.
Yeah, run
Best-
for his money.
There's
Fight-
another one.
Fight for his life. I mean,
The
We'll
irony.
add that for
But
next
If you
week.
did
someone
that
to
on
fight for his
purpose, it
life,
would have been
right?
great.
I thought you were.
I did.
I watched the best dismissal Suey category yesterday, and my honest to God reaction was, I need to get better at dismissals because I wasn't nominated for a single one, and I was just listening to Billy and Stugotz just crush it, and Mike. Honestly, Mike
unfair.
swearing at Mario Cristobal for
That
not
was-
kneeling it down was
All
a
right,
moment.
Hold on. Bullshit. I did not do that. That was after an entire show of you guys browbeating me, put us there in that moment.
I knew you'd hate that.
Yeah,
was like,
I did.
Unfair.
I did. Thanks. And it was like minutes removed from me asking for Mario Cristobal to do something.
Right.
Jess, I think we're friends. As a friend, I would
Yes.
say, don't worry about the dismissals. Career-wise, better not to get into the dismissal game.
I mean, it's worked out well for me.
Well,
Is it
until it
bad?
doesn't. Yeah, just
Billy,
you're on
I-
the right path.
I had the same thought as
Keep
you
it straight
also.
and narrow.
Yeah, Chris, just as like a governor from here on out, if you're like, that's really going to upset Mike, don't fucking do it. Just like, don't put me in that spot. Just don't.
But
Like,
it
if you know
made
what's going to annoy me,
listeners
don't do that.
happy,
I
so-
will
I'm
say.
not Dan. I'm not anybody. I'm asking, please don't.
Wait, Mike, are you saying that in the history of the show, we're approaching the 20th year, you have never done something knowingly that was going to piss someone off?
No. I have.
Right.
And if I were actually doing that in that moment, by all means, frame it that way. But to frame it inaccurately is just total bullshit on this show's
Oh,
part.
wait, being framed inaccurately. That should be a Suey
Since
category.
that's what we do is give full context on all these mistakes.
I do.
You know what you did.
you
know what you did. Don't pretend like you don't know what you did.
I knew you ripping Cristobal would be funny.
Yeah, but I didn't.
I will say this. Mike,
You!
is that
Out the gates, you had me saying F you, and you make it seem like I'm just saying to Mario Cristobal, F you. I didn't do
Wait,
that.
you didn't?
This is.
Hey,
I'm legitimately asking. Now I'm very confused.
No,
we
I
replay the
didn't.
tape?
I didn't. I didn't, and you guys know
It
this.
sounded like you.
Yeah, it did. Did someone say something to you? What happened?
You guys think it's all cute.
Mike, I'll say this. I was happy. I was happy that it was included because it reminded me to talk about my Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets one more time. How you like them jackets? Huh? Making people money? Making Amin proud?
Was there any part of you that wanted to go to Dublin for this game, Amin?
Go to Dublin? No. No.
Why not?
Now you've gone too far.
Yeah, you've gone. No. No, I'm look,
It's a lot of fun.
I go to one game a year. I've got to mentally prepare myself because, as you guys know, I'm a super fan who most of the year masquerades as someone who doesn't give a shit. So, in order for that one day a year where I have to actually project as my true self, my true super fan self, I've got to prep for that. I got to do a little bit of homework, got to do a little research, and then I go and I got to be surrounded with my friends that I went to college with because they provide me with a lot of the research and information in order for me to present as a super fan I truly am before I go back to being the fraud that I am for the 364 days a year. Speaking of frauds.
Yeah, thanks.
The U.S. Open's about to start.
It is. Well, it started.
Or it started?
Yep, started.
Sure. There you go. Frauds. What did I tell you? And Jannik Sinner, the world number one, is playing despite testing positive for an anabolic steroid. For more on this, we go to our tennis correspondent, Michael Ryan Ruiz.
This was a massive scandal, and it's got a lot of players upset. And a lot of players are upset because of a double standard. Now, there is precedent for players being suspended for a long time when they have this amount in their system. Now, to be clear, this was explained to me via Andy Roddick's podcast. The amount that was found in his system was less than a grain of salt. And the defense, Stugotz, correct me if I'm wrong, is while receiving treatment on a table, Sinner had an open wound, and one of the creams used as a topical cream got into his bloodstream, and it had a banned substance in it.
And his trainer was using that cream to treat something on his own body, and it's like it allegedly seeped through Jannik Sinner's skin, and so then he tested for this infinitesimally small amount of this banned substance.
Which is in the Italian version of Neosporin, right? It has this anabolic steroid in it.
Right. But all this being said, on the surface and how we're presenting it, okay, that's good for Sinner. This seems unfair if he were to be banned. And the ruling was he's allowed to continue to play. However,
it seems unfair if you're buying his story.
It seems unfair if you're buying his story. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence that would suggest a lot of injuries that kind of correspond with some of the symptoms that go along with this banned substance, and a lot of former players that have been dinged for similar amounts wondering why the double standard.
It's interesting. I mean, and then he did the thing. So I had no idea what they were putting on my body, which I highly doubt. I'm skeptical about that. And then he fired the two people who have been with him the entire time while he's risen to number one in the world. He fired two people who are a big part of his team.
That part I found very, very odd. By the way, he had his case go before a panel of 3 independent experts, and 2 of whom were unaware of his identity. So they didn't even know who they were judging, and they found the explanation plausible that the trainer had some on his hands, and then they went into the wound, and then later on in the treatment session. But I'm with Stugotz, hey, man, all right, my bad. It's literally a microscopic amount. You going to fire me?
Well, that's what he tested positive for, a microscopic amount. And there are people out there on the internet theorizing, well, there are masking agents that could be at play, that this is the amount that they found, but it may not be the amount in their system. Also, leading to more circumstantial evidence is Jannik Sinner's rise to prominence, to being the world number one, the present number one seed in this. He's had a really good year. It's not like he came out of nowhere. This was a prospect that people had high hopes.
He was building,
But he really turned it on, probably ahead of where most people projected him at this point. So you have this guy really ascend. You have injuries and circumstantial evidence mounting, and you have the fact that you have precedent with other tennis players being punished for similar amounts, and you wonder, why is Sinner allowed to do this? But you do have to credit, as you did, an independent court, 2 of which didn't have any idea who he was, decided that he wasn't guilty of purposefully doing this.
I like the idea, by the way, real quick, Stugotz,
right,
that the 2 that didn't know who he was, it wasn't that it was a blind taste test or whatever. It was just so this is Jannik Sinner's sample, and who the fuck is Jannik Sinner?
Yeah, it's like Greg Cody. Like, I don't pay attention.
They were tennis fans.
But this is a big time scandal, and there was a lot of tennis players weighing in, and you have the U.S. Open going on right now, and he is the number 1 seed. So it is a massive scandal in the world of tennis.
It gets down, I think, this is the interesting part of the story. If you're the number 1 tennis player in the world, if you're a professional athlete, aren't you aware of everything that's being put in and on your body? Are you telling me Sinner didn't realize this until he tested positive? Like, he didn't know what they were putting on his body?
I do think that you trust your trainers to adhere to guidelines. You're also asking them to not only know what's on the topical cream, every ingredient that goes into that, and if it's against the rules, but also to know, we don't know I don't know what the wound looked like on his leg. It's possible that he didn't know that he even had a wound on his leg.
Sure. But don't you think there's a conversation between player and team? Guys, here's the banned substance list. Don't put any of this on my body. That never happens?
By the excuse, it wasn't even going on his body. The trainer himself was treating himself.
Yeah.
And then this got into his system because there was some residue. Again, it was smaller than a grain of salt.
The idea is that, like, the guy was working on something else, hadn't washed his hands properly or whatever, and then started working.
Secondhand smoke?
Yeah, a little bit of that.
A lot of this kind of falls into that tainted meat plausibility. In that there are
tainted meat, two of my favorite words.
There are trace amounts in this, and it's a believable thing. So people are wondering, like, is this going to be the new tainted meat excuse?
This is the new my dog ate my homework, right? Like, my trainer didn't wash his hands. Which I guess then
I'd never heard this excuse before, and maybe the first time that I heard tainted meat, I kind of had a similar reaction, like, I didn't know that was possible. Oh, okay, I guess. And then everyone had tainted meat stories, so I don't know if everyone's going to have open wound stories going forward.
Well, the other thing is this anabolic steroid that's in this Italian Neosporin. Apparently, this steroid is an over-the-counter drug in Italy. It's not. It's very readily available, so it's not like they went to some shady back alley guy to get this thing.
And Sinner is Italian.
Despite a name that
doesn't track.
But
that's why I wanted to make that clear to the audience, because Jannik Sinner doesn't seem like
Isn't he
Italian
Northern
name.
Italian? I isn't part of the controversy, like they didn't make this public until after the appeal and everything had been settled, and a lot of tennis fans are irritated and annoyed, and a lot of players are annoyed that they just found out about this, even though it happened in March.
That is probably the biggest reason as to why, because now all of this seems far too convenient for Jannik Sinner, and the double standard isn't just in the punishment, but it was how the secrecy was upheld. Like, you can start seeing where the mind gravitates towards conspiracy theories. New number 1. We just made a brand new superstar. We're losing all these stars in the men's game, and almost immediately you have guys like Sinner and Alcaraz. They ascend to just pick up the slack almost immediately.
That's how you do it.
And it's awfully convenient in the eyes of many.
Now, Stugotz, I got some quotes for you here from several people. First of all, it's from Denis Shapovalov, a Canadian player who's scheduled to play in the first round on Monday, where he played yesterday. Different rules for different players.
I understand why he would say that. I think that. Yes.
Nick Kyrgios, we all know and love Nick Kyrgios, Miami Heat fan. Ridiculous, whether it was accidental or planned. You get tested twice with a banned substance, you should be gone for 2 years.
What, 2 years?
I like the Nick Kyrgios dismissal here.
Right.
And then this is from Sinner himself. Obviously, it's been a very tough moment for me and my team. It still is. It's quite fresh, everything. I also know who is my friend and who is not my friend now, because my friends know I would never do that. Stugotz, do you like Kyrgios's extreme dismissal, Sedano-esque, if I may?
Yeah.
Remember when he tried to ban Rudy Gobert for
I do remember
causing COVID?
Yeah, for life?
Yeah. Or do you like Jannik Sinner saying, hey, at least now I know who's on my side and who's not?
I think when you're Sinner, that's one of the things you have to say, because you're trying to convince everyone that you had no idea. This was an accident, so you have to say. That's one of the staple things you say. It's kind of like a hot take, right?
Yeah.
One of the things you have to say is, you should be ashamed of yourself, where he had the audacity, right? Those are keys to hot takes. That's the key.
That's a counter.
Yes.
Okay.
What Sinner is doing there is one of the keys to, hey, I did it, but I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I like Kyrgios because I do think, first off, the rules should be the same for every player. They really should be. Those kind of rules, okay? If within a team, if one quarterback could fall asleep during the quarterback session and the backup can't, and the backup gets waived if he falls asleep, I understand those rules being different, but these are general rules to the sport.
Right.
And so I am with Kyrgios that if he indeed tested positive, and he did,
twice,
he should be suspended for longer. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. My best Brian Gumble.
Your serve.
We have the Raheem Mostert interview that's coming up a little bit later. So before we do that, just to tee this conversation up, this Dolphins-esque conversation, Billy, you want the media to stop doing what with regards to the Dolphins?
What I want them to start doing, just like let's drop the Brian Flores to a thing if we can. Like, we got that.
You mean the thing that this show started?
Yeah, the problem that we started. Let's kind of put that to rest if we can, because I feel like now every time Tua talks, they just ask him like follow-ups on Brian Flores.
Dude, but isn't this we ran with it for a week.
No, it's 100%.
And now we're telling people it's too much.
I'm just saying, let's not continue this distraction that we ourselves caused, because yesterday they asked Tua like follow-ups because then Brian Flores commented. So then, like, in a perfect world, it's like, okay, well, that's the end of that. But then the journalists decided to journalism, and now they're doing follow-ups in Tua, and I feel like this is going to be continuing to be a thing. So here's what Tua had to say yesterday.
You mentioned in your comments to Dan how he was highly critical of you through that process, and yet there was, I think, somewhat of a surprise that he made the change when he did. Why do you think that change to bench Brian and insert you happened if he was so down on you?
It's a great question. I'm not going to answer that truthfully right now, but I think I know why. But I won't speculate or give anyone any speculations on that. Whatever you want to create to think that. But other than that, I think that'll just stay here with the organization.
So he did learn his lesson a little bit.
He is done telling the truth.
That does seem like he's like, I saw what happened last time. I was really honest, so I'm just going to not this time.
Do you see the body language difference? With you guys, arm around Chris, legs sprawled.
If I was there playing with my drawstrings, he would have answered that
It was
question.
a comfy couch, too. I mean,
he was all stiff.
I guess it kind of diffused it, but there are ways to answer that question to further ensure that you won't be asked similar questions.
That door's still open.
Yeah, but that's not our fault. That's his.
No, that's what I'm saying. He left the
fault.
door open. Well, ultimately, it's our fault for starting the problem.
For asking a question? Like, he went into that interview with intent to answer that question honestly.
Right, but Billy, you're saying you want journalists to stop asking him about this.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
I want journalism to stop in this.
I think you had a chance to end it right there.
Let's just focus on the football season that's about to start, please.
Why is that? This is interesting.
No.
You're done
What's
with
interesting is winning a playoff game. None of this nonsense.
You don't want any distractions?
No distractions. Let's put those blinders on. Let's get focused up on this season.
Right. If the Dolphins don't play well, are you going to blame Dan?
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh,
wow. Oh, that feels like a no-brainer.
Yes.
It's got to be Dan's fault. You know why I know it's Dan's fault? Because the question asked, they didn't say on the Dan Le Batard Show or
when
in
Dan
that interview.
asked you.
He said when Dan. There's one name. It's Selena.
Here's the
Cher.
Selena.
Here's the Gomez. Here's the issue that's confusing is according to Stephen A., Dan was a Dolphins plant, right?
Yes.
So if Dan was a Dolphins plant in this situation, do we blame Dan or do we blame someone from within the Dolphins organization for throwing off this season?
Is Dan – hold on, wait. Is Dan a pawn in a grander scheme?
That's what I'm wondering. And who is it?
Who planted him?
Who planted him?
Roger Goodell. I thought we did that, the whole thing.
It all started with the Josh Norman hunt.
And
but if you believe what Stephen A. is saying, I think, Billy, this is the way it goes down. Someone from the Dolphins or to his camp would have to reach out to Dan. That's the way
I think we have this all backwards. Remember when David Sampson said that the thing he hated the most when he was the president of the Marlins was when the other teams in South Florida were successful? Do we think that Pat Riley has now infiltrated Dan's brain to get the Dolphins to be worse so that people will be excited about the Heat again?
Wow.
That's a great theory. This is how inside jobs happen.
We're looking in the wrong place. We're looking at the Dolphins. We should be looking at the Heat.
Yeah. Wow, and he's known to carry water for the Miami Heat. Yes.
That's a good point.
Unbelievable.
It was right
I
in
just
front
blew
of us.
this thing open.
It was right in front of us the whole time.
It was another offseason where they struck out.
Yeah.
You feel like the end of The Usual Suspects where he's looking at all the stuff on the bulletin
And
board.
no one's talking about how
Cole
the Heat
Swider got away.
struck out.
It's amazing.
Now we're just sending my dad there.
Number one Dolphins guy is going to the Heat.
Did we put him in a losing spot?
Dude, I kind of feel like no, quite the opposite.
Okay.
He's in a position of power now.
All right, I feel better now.
Yeah, but he's also a pawn.
The spot's irrelevant. It's just just look over here. Look over here.
We're all pawns. Don't you see?
Put it
We're
on the
all
poll.
in this.
Pawn stars.
Are we all pawns?
Did the Heat put that thing on my social media so I would see
Yes.
it, so that I would send my now I'm feeling like I'm being played.
Who gave you the drawstrings?
Damn it.
It's like a gift from the Miami.
The bald guy from security.
The fixer.
Can I be Chumley?
Bernie was in this studio a few months ago.
Which Bernie? Oh,
Mascot.
The Heat mascot.
What other one did you think I was
I'm
talking
in too deep. I've already said too much. I've already said too
There's
much.
another
Bernie
Bernie.
Kosar.
Pat Riley was inside Bernie and whispered his instructions to Dan so there'd be no paper trail, no text trail.
I thought it was odd that he had Gucci loafers on.
Yeah. Parmalee?
This is all making sense now.
You're going to go into Buffalo with Bernie Parmalee?
I miss Greg.
Wow, it's all coming together, folks.
This is crazy.
Mike, I have. There's no way to transition out of that, but I have an uncomfortable amount of money on the Hurricanes this weekend.
Oh boy!
Don't put that on me. For just this game, don't put that on me.
I am.
think I've been.
No, you sold me.
You keep saying that I've sold you. I think I've been like super chill, and I actually think Saturday's going to be a close game.
Mike's made me nervous for UM on this because he's talked about how it's like the most important game in history. Like I'm not even a diehard UM fan, and I'm nervous for UM.
By the way, I saw an interview with Steve Spurrier hit YouTube, and he said that this is the most important Gators game since 1988.
Classic old ball coach. I mean, no, but Mike, I am nervous because combination, okay, you have sold me on Cam Ward. You have sold me on how good the offseason has been. I'm just saying, you've told me they're talented.
Yeah, I mean, Cam Ward's a proven commodity. I don't need to tell you how good Cam Ward is. You watched him at Washington State, and it's been a good offseason in talent acquisition. A lot of people they've been the popular pick to win the ACC. Greg McElroy, I think, does a great job with his podcast. Very insightful. He picked the Canes to win the ACC. Yeah, there's a lot of hype, but what I would say is there's a heavy public road favorite. And 2 years ago, granted they had an NFL quarterback under center, Billy Napier beat a Utah program that was humming because of that atmosphere. It's one of the best atmospheres in college sports.
It's great. Yeah.
The longer that Florida is in that game, if say Damian Martinez runs 60 yards first snap, then we're good, right? But you give that crowd a reason to believe, and no Miami players have really experienced that atmosphere as a collective, as a unit. This is quite the jump up for a team that has been disappointing over the last few years. And, by the way, a team and a program that has never missed an opportunity to miss an opportunity. They have anytime there's been like 6 seasons over the last 20 years where they've entered a season with lofty expectations and been a Vogue top 10 pick. And they always disappoint. 2017, they were a miraculous team, kind of a bit of a fraud, but no one had high expectations for that. So they always find a way to disappoint. If I weren't so close to it, the money that you do just on principle, the bet that you place is the home dog Florida in this spot.
Now, Stugotz, you said you made a massive bet. How massive of a bet did you make?
A lot of money.
Hey, you don't ask someone that.
No,
I mean,
is that Popal?
It's Canes -2 on the road. It's a combination of I do believe in what Mike is saying about the Canes roster, and I don't believe in Napier or the Florida Gators.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. I think they have a lot of question marks on the right side of their line. I think Mertz is probably underrated. He's been a good quarterback for them, and he plays within the offense, probably a little conservative, but that'll play. If they make mistakes, then the momentum can get running. But I think that everything about this Miami Hurricane season really hinges on that game at Florida because the schedule certainly opens up for Miami if they win this one.
Mike, I got November 2nd circled on my calendar. Miami versus Duke. Manny Diaz revenge game.
Wow.
Stugotz, this is my favorite time of year. I am such a damn huge fan of the Sueys.
I thought you were going to say football.
Oh, that too. Mm-hmm. Do Sueys and football come at the same time every year?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
We look at the NFL season as the start of our year, so the Sueys are kind of like our year in review leading into the new football season.
Our fiscal year end, but
there you
Sueys.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like an award show that's out there that I can compare it to?
It's like our Oscars, I think.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
I think I've heard that before.
So, what point does a Suey cease to be eligible for this season and become eligible for next year?
There's a blurred line, but for instance, my dad made a laugh in the first hour that I have. It's the first nominee for next year's Sueys.
Wow. Okay, so that's 2025.
Yeah.
Right
And the mistake Chris just made in the last segment is going to be the first mistake.
Damn it, I didn't write that one
next
down.
year's.
Can Joe Mauer be in next year's dismissals?
Sure.
Okay, good.
By the way, not my fault. One of my workers out there.
Oh, wow. Nothing says great leader.
Wow.
I got out of there because I thought it was just me overlooking it. He's just like, I cut
Wow,
that one.
Dan's out of town and we're still throwing people under the bus here.
We learned it from watching you, Dan.
I was proud of him. He came up to me and was like, my bad on that. I was like,
Went
oh,
off me, coach?
Yeah, he did. And
I
now
touched the ball, coach.
And now I'm shaming him in front of everyone.
There's someone
fired,
here
but-
that takes accountability?
It was nice knowing Ethan.
Who's that?
So we
Don't
got
bother learning his name. He's gone.
worst mistake.
And now, the Suey nominees for worst mistake. Poppy Le Batard tells LeBron where to find the key.
He's lousy. He's old. He's making too much money. But listen, LeBron, if you want to come back to Miami, the kid is under the mattress, buddy. We love you for you to come back.
We've always loved
Keys under the mattress?
Too much money. But listen, LeBron, if you want to come back to Miami, the kid is under the mattress, buddy. We love you for you to come back.
Why?
To break
LeBron,
into the
if you
house
want
to
to come
get
back
there.
to Miami, the kid is under the mattress, buddy.
Roy Bellamy sounds drunk after the Florida Panthers win the Stanley Cup.
All right, we have made it from Amarin Beck Arena.
Wow. Jesus, Roy.
We have made it from Amarin Beck Arena to the infield, which is a couple blocks down.
We celebrate championship.
We are going to celebrate a Stanley Cup championship.
Stephen A. Smith can't say Amin El Hassan's name.
Oh, my Lord. I'm looking El-Amin Hassan. Hassan, rather. I'm sorry to mess up your name, El-Amin.
Taylor Vipolis's first time on air.
I think you're going to flop this. I hope you don't.
I could tell Chris Cody.
Oh, no! Taylor, this is your big shot, buddy.
This one's for Lucy.
You're doing good.
Tory Taylor is just 19 yards away from breaking Johnny Pingle's single season.
No! Johnny
I got cocky.
He did. He shouted out Lucy before, like, hey, this one's for you.
Got too cocky.
All right.
We were all rooting for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's try it again. You want to start from the
I should have
beginning?
picked a shorter stat.
Boxer Terrence Crawford has been constipating his future.
What do the next few years of your career look like?
I don't know. I'm taking it day by day. That's something that I've been constipating on. Just thinking.
Constipating. I love that. No, I love that. Yes.
I said constipating.
Yes.
He doesn't give a shit.
You've been having trouble shitting about.
shit.
You give no shits about what your next 2 years look like.
Amin El Hassan calls Dan Le Batard dad.
So wait a minute. Are you alleging that Oddball should be more award-winning than the Sports Business Podcast of the Year and the Best Baseball Podcast of the Year? Nothing personal with David Sampson?
Dad, Oddball operates outside of the purview of mainstream society in your award shows.
Did you call him Dad?
Yeah, I heard him say dad.
Yeah.
Which feels like
Freudian slip.
very appropriate.
Bill Simmons doesn't know where the Florida Panthers play.
Florida fans, settle down. You didn't know what hockey was until like 1993. You literally didn't have hockey. You've never won a cup. The average person who follows sports has no idea what city you're attached to. You're the Florida Panthers. Are you in Jacksonville? Are you in Orlando? Are you in Palm Beach? Nobody knows. the answer is Miami. But literally, most people don't know that.
Charlotte Wilder puts too much respect on Martin Scorsese's editor's name.
Yeah, it's spending big. It's a big production. Also, let's put some respect on Scorsese's editor's name, Thelma Schoonmaker, which I probably just did not respect by saying it eventually wrong. Thelma
in confidence.
C-H.
We don't have to.
SH.
Don't do this.
Okay. So, the Gilded Age. The Gilded Age.
Charlotte Wilder's incoherent speaking.
Guys, this would just light people's shoes on fire and we'd laugh about it.
People just want to split each other with breach. Damn it.
What? Go sit in the penalty box.
Chris Cody has something that isn't sitting white with him.
Chris is like Taco Bell. Just doesn't sit white with me.
White?
Right.
White?
Well.
Angel, make the T-shirts. I want in the next 90 minutes, I want T-shirts that say, sit white with me.
See? Even when I'm bad, I'm good.
Chris Cody's bad English misreads a poll about the English.
When it comes to proper English, who does it better? Americans or the English? 52%.
I'm going to go ahead and say the English.
Perfect.
Just based off of that evidence.
English.
Yeah.
The English. Well, it said the English/British. So I was going to say the British.
Got it. Yeah.
Chris Cody's interesting country of origin for Nikola Jokic.
Damn, this is a good theory.
Stockton, Spokane, Washington.
Jokic, Serbia.
Serbia?
Sorry, I made it a Z.
Oh, man. Are you thinking about the tennis guy?
Yeah.
Zverev? Is that what you're thinking about?
That guy's a jerk.
Chris Cody's painter's taint.
But I threw down some painter's tape, and I'm like, all right, let's get crazy here. The tape's there. Nothing bad could happen. I whipped that tape off afterwards. Paint everywhere. And I get it. Billy's going to do, you made a mistake. But, hey, painter's tape. Be better.
Tape. You're having trouble
it's a hard
with the
thing
word
to say.
tape. Well, yes, if
Painter's
you've
tape.
done nothing but eat turkey and candy and gummies for the last 10 days. It does hard. You've said painter's tape incorrectly 4 times.
I think I said it incorrectly once.
No, definitely not once.
You put an M in there.
Painter's taint.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Chris Mad Dog Russo has trouble with Barack Obama's name.
It's Obama, Michelle and Barack. If Barack Obama.
Chris Cody's technical FUs.
They're having technical FUs.
Issues.
Technical FUs?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a Freudian slip?
They've got me Lane Johnson
They got
back
Lane
in his
Johnson.
underwear.
Yeah, there you go.
But they did. That was a technical FU from the video staff.
I meant that how I said it.
Chris Mad Dog Russo calls Billy Gill Mr. McGill.
I love you, Stugotz. You're the best. Mr. McGill, good to see you.
Radio Row.
Chris Mad Dog Russo can't say jujitsu.
How does Tom Brady, the magnificent, good-looking quarterback, how did he lose his beautiful wife to a jiu-jitsu instructor? How you pronounce it? What's the word? I don't even know. What is it? Jiu-jitsu? Jiu-jitsu instructor. I mean, that's the whole theme of the night. That she's going out with the jiu-jitsu instructor. And poor Tom, all by his lonesome. That's the whole damn theme of the night.
Dan Le Batard gives the video team some odd direction.
The camera people, just come on Stugotz's face. Whoops.
Dan Le Batard texts his food order to Stephen A. Smith.
I have in my phone Stephanie from a Mexican restaurant. And so I ended
Where is this going?
I ended up ordering tacos, a fajita, and margaritas from Stephen A.
Dan Le Batard thinks he asks you God a question while talking to the Wu-Tang Clan.
Would you, God, be kind enough to tell us when he looks at the entire landscape of hip-hop, who the people are that he respects the most, that he would put on the tier with Wu-Tang in terms of authenticity, credibility, durability?
Who? You got it here.
Oh, I thought you got
that's
it.
Kappa. That's Capricorn. We're going to edit that, right? We live? I'm glad we're live.
That's my I'm sorry. I introduced you God before, and I thought he was here.
You know, Newton Wayne is coming up here later. Not Wayne Newton, but Newton Wayne will be here later.
Everyone had me making that mistake. I cashed the bet just now, but I thought it was going to be Stu.
What was the bet you cashed?
That Dan would
up. Get your money. Get your money.
It's my bad. I'm sorry. I thought he was here.
Dan's coffee ruins his voice.
Why, when Billy showed up at 1 o'clock, were you at Chili's?
What has happened to your voice? Were you just at Chili's? What's going on? Stop eating in between.
It's coffee. It's not food.
Stop ingesting anything.
Terrible now.
David Sampson doesn't know what a wet willy is.
Wet willies. Gateway prank.
For sure.
Is that the one where you squeeze the nipple?
No.
Is that the one in your ear, the finger in your ear?
Yes.
It is a
Clip that, guys. Thank you.
L. Duncan calls Chris Cody Greg.
I hate this first sound.
Oh, hey, what's up, Greg?
That's L. Duncan calling me Greg in the Zoom before our interview started.
Oh, hey, what's up, Greg?
To make it worse, right before that, she's like, "Oh, Jess, Lucy, Billy, hey."
Oh, hey, what's up, Greg?
She knew Lucy?
Yeah, she did.
She never worked with Lucy.
Oh, hey, what's up, Greg?
Greg Cody responds to the off-air talkback only in his headset.
Billy, somebody has written in here, I need way more.
I'm sorry.
I just said in his headset, haven't you been to all of them too?
It sounded like you were speaking aloud. My bad. Totally on me. That's 100% on me.
All right.
Yeah. Because I have what you mentioned.
Right.
I, too, like Billy, been an eyewitness to all of the
Stanley Cup final wins.
Stanley Cup wins. Yeah. Yep.
Continue, Dan.
Well, that goes without saying.
Right.
That it couldn't happen.
Well, no, he said.
Well, he didn't say it.
He said it again. Yeah, that was just in my head again.
My apologies, sincere.
Greg, why? Greg.
Yeah.
Greg.
Lucy Rodine trying to say Arnold Palmer.
I can say Mercury and Arnold Palmer now.
Tony!
What?
I couldn't get it.
You were so confident against the spread.
Tony, what do you got?
Mike Ryan confuses everyone by inexplicably using henceforth in a sentence.
Now, I do find this cute. I don't know how routine and commonplace that's going to be, especially henceforth, but it's not something he could have done just in his home country like that.
Henceforth. Thank you for saying that. I think we're all thinking it.
What? It is going to be at times like a circus.
Henceforth.
He dropped the whilst too earlier.
Whilst.
Did you? What are you doing? What do you go to Tahoe,
Witty thing,
you hobnob with celebrities, and you come back and speaking the King's English?
Yeah, that was a little weird, I guess.
What happened?
I don't know. I could have said from here on out. But Dan, I'd like to be efficient with this microphone, especially with the co-host out, and I'd like to know my spots.
So, henceforth...
Yeah, I deserve to be dragged for that.
Charlotte Wilder doesn't know the Fonz.
And it was the #1 show in the land because the big star of this show was a man who was cool because he wore a leather jacket.
The Foz.
Hey.
The Franz?
Fonz.
The German version, the Franz.
I did not think she could do better than the Foz, which was her initial offering.
Wait.
But then it became the French television show Happy Days with the Franz.
Charlotte Wilder.
Big year.
Oh, my gosh. Rookie of the year?
I don't know. Our power was pretty good.
Our power was good, but when she said Slade with breach, I lost it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was my favorite one, too. I have that clip on the play right
She
here.
was Guys just would just light people's shoes on fire and we'd laugh about it.
People just want to split each other with breach. Damn it.
What?
She was definitely thinking Fozzie Bear.
The Foz?
She's a big Muppets fan. Isn't that a Muppet?
Yeah,
yes.
Fozzie Bear.
I know
Waka Waka.
I know what she was thinking.
Oh, man. What about... Mike, I feel like they went too hard for you on henceforth.
On henceforth? That wasn't really a mistake.
It's not a mistake, but it's just like...
Yes, using a big word around Chris Cody was my mistake.
Henceforth?
Raheem Mostert next.
Me and Chris want to live here.
Yeah, it's perfect down here. Perfect right here in this little area.
He's saying this. They're saying in the facility they want to live here.
Oh,
they
yeah.
want to live inside
right here on
of
this
the
couch.
facility.
I did just see something out there that said mandatory weigh-in at 8 a.m. That wouldn't feel good for me. But I wouldn't love to do that every morning. It's just to make sure that we're good in regards to practice and everything like that. Because once you get out of practice, they want to see how many pounds you lost because of the heat. So, How much do you have to eat to not lose a bunch of weight in this heat? It's not so much about eating. It's about the fluids. Yeah. So, like, per every pound you lose, you have to drink, a certain amount of water to gain that poundage back. So, no thanks. You have to have some fluids in you, man.
We should have a weigh-in at the studio every morning.
We are here with Stugotz's friend, Raheem Mostert, I think neighbor, and surprisingly, #1 Florida Panthers fan, Raheem Mostert.
Yes.
I don't know.
In the parade.
What were you doing in the parade?
You were in the parade.
How did you get in the parade?
I'll tell you what, I got really good at connecting with a few people, and it was awesome. We tried to get in that parade. Y'all should have hit me up. Y'all should have. We would have got y'all for sure. No, it was awesome though. Shout out to the Panthers and everything they did this past year. It was definitely memorable. I've been a Panthers fan for about 11 years. So did you touch the cup? I did. Okay. Yeah. It's fine. It was a lot of fun. Different sports, so it's fine. That's the thing. My wife was freaking out. Yeah. She was like, Raheem, you cannot touch that trophy. I was like, why? She was like, well, do you know that there's a curse if you don't win it? If you haven't won it yet, you can't touch it.
Did your wife know you don't play hockey?
Yeah, that's what I told her. I was like, babe, we're okay. We're good. So I think we're okay. Yeah.
11 years you've been a Panthers fan?
I have, yeah.
Because? How?
So my agent, Brett Tessler, he stays in Parkland Golf as well. And he brought me to my first ever game. And ever since then, I've always been around hockey a little bit, even from the Tampa team. That's good. We don't say their name. I appreciate that. No, just Tampa team. That's Lightning. It.
Panther fan, man.
I know. Mm-hmm. So ever since then, I've just been locked in with the Panthers. So.
It's been pretty cool to see you find a home here. The idea that you had 18 touchdowns last year. I was offended on your behalf that the running back position has been devalued so much that there wasn't everybody throwing all sorts of money at you this offseason, because anytime a person has had 18 touchdowns in my lifetime, that person breaks the bank when they get to the bank.
Yeah, it's a little discouraging, but I'm an older guy now. They want to put the age tag on me, which is unfortunate, especially what I've done. I was 31 last year, and, being able to run with, 21-year-olds and just doing what I did, I'd go out there and just play. And hopefully, that changes in the near future with the running back market. But it takes the younger guys to make that happen. But older guys have to step up as well, so.
Where along the path in your career would it have seemed most likely to you or probable that you would make a Pro Bowl and have 18 touchdowns?
Man, honestly, I would have to say, a younger version would have to be year 7, 8. I felt like that was the perfect time for me, but, I didn't take advantage of the opportunities. At least I tried to, but, just things were falling out, injuries and all that good stuff. So I'm just happy that I'm able to do what I've done, at the time that I did, last year. So
there can't be another story like that in NFL history. Waived 6 times, 18 touchdowns and a Pro Bowl.
Yeah. Also should have won or could have won a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. If we would have gotten the ball, the running game for that game against the Chiefs in 2019, it was keyed up and dialed for us to win it. And, we just strayed away from the run game, and, we would have been Super Bowl champs for sure.
You don't get to surf here at all, right?
Mm-mm.
There's no such thing
just the
as
internet.
You being
Who would
able
surf here with
to...
the sharks? I mean, come on.
No, but he's used to waves. He's used to sizable waves, and he loves the ocean.
Yeah. Every year I feel like I'm always taking a trip to Hawaii, so I get my surf fix there. This past off season, I went to Hawaii to support Tua and his foundation. He had a golfing event and he had his football camp, but unfortunately I didn't make the camp because I had my own down in South Miami, but went out there for the week. We left Sunday night, got in Monday morning, and yeah, we were just me and my family hanging out, and we had a couple days of surfing, so it was fun.
What was the free agent process for you like coming off of that kind of season?
At the beginning, it was a little slow, and then things started ramping up, getting some talks just because I was still under contract with the Dolphins, but, my second year, my last year wasn't guaranteed, which would have made this year. Wasn't guaranteed, so then went back to the table, started talking, and we felt like there was, a deal that you couldn't refuse, so.
But it was disappointing to you, not necessarily to come back here, but to not have that season rewarded the way that I would have imagined at any time in a running back's lifespan it would have been rewarded.
Yeah, I mean, then again, it happened to be the market, right? Everything is the market value, whatever the market sets, it's on, those positions to value, to be valued in a way that, makes sense. But unfortunately, like you mentioned earlier, it's the running back market, especially given my age too. So yeah, I'm 32 now, but
you're
I feel
not
like,
an old man.
No, I'm not
given
an old
my
man.
age,
You just
you're
had
not
18
an old man.
touchdowns.
You're not an old man.
Wait, Raheem, does that bother you, the running back market? Just the way that position is treated? Because growing up, Dan and I watching, like Emmitt Smith, those guys, they got the ball and they got paid, man.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's definitely changed these past couple of years, and it's unfortunate, but that's just it's in time it'll get back up. I feel like it'll be more valued, once the younger guys start to realize, hey, I don't have to be. We don't run the ball like that, back then, and guys are getting, they were getting hurt at some point running the ball, 20 plus times, but now. It's such a passing league. These running backs that are in, like, I talk to Devon all the time, and I'm telling him, hey, you catch the ball out of the backfield. That's what's going to help your case, especially when it comes down to, those contract talks. So he's taking it well, running routes. We're all running routes, and I'm happy to see that type of progression right now for him.
What's that running back room like right now? Because it's you're in there. We haven't coming off the season
it's
you
fast.
did. Devon Achane coming off a season where he broke out. They draft Jalen Wright.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like there's a balance between being teammates and competing with each other.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and our coach, Eric Stugotz, he does an unbelievable job in making it feel like it's more so a brotherhood. And lifelong friends. That's the most important thing because, in this NFL world, man, it's any given day, you could have the best game of your life and you could be on the highest of highs and then something major can happen and then it turns into the lowest of lows. But, you have to have your brothers that's right there behind you. And I feel like with our running back room, we are the best running back room in the league. There's no doubt about it. There's other guys that want to compete and say, so-and-so has this title. But if you go down the line of all the backs that are in our room specifically, each and every one, even our younger guys, each and every one has made some type of impact in this league or will make an impact in this league when their time comes. So I just feel like this room is just tailored to what we do as a group and as individuals too.
Do you know where you're ranked in the NFL's top 100 players? Have you seen where you're ranked?
Yeah, I did.
What's the number?
60.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about that?
That was too high. I felt like, especially what I did last year.
Too low.
Or too low.
Too low.
Too low.
It was bullshit, I'll
That's
say.
technically high up if you go by numbers. It is high.
Yes, but you weren't. You thought it should have been a better ranking.
Yeah, better ranking. Just, I broke, a 40-year-old record that hasn't been touched in 40 years. And, to be able to break Ricky Williams' record, I looked up to Ricky when I was a little kid coming from, Florida and stuff like that. So to be able to break his record, that meant so much more to me than Mark's record, right? But yeah, it is what it is. It just gives me more motivation this year. So
who was the running back on the list higher than you that you were like, what the? What's going on with this?
There was probably a couple.
Nah, it was.
What's this guy doing up here?
It's Christian, obviously, I think he's just a hell of a back.
You were good with that.
You were fine with
I
that.
was fine with that.
He
deserves it.
You're scrolling down the list. You're like, what the hell is he doing?
14 touchdowns, though. You had 18. He had 14.
Yeah. But we tied 21 touchdowns total, so I couldn't.
Right.
And he led the league in rushing. So I talk to him all the time. We bullshit with each other and stuff like that. And it's fun. So. And then Derrick Henry, I feel like that's also another, that's.
You're good with those two.
I'm good with those
But
guys.
who's the guy you're not good with?
Come on, let's go.
The rest, it sounds like. The rest.
Oh, I don't know who's there. There has to be a name.
I don't know. I don't know who else.
Who's
is
in the
there.
50s? Kirsten, look that up for me.
Yeah, we need to figure that out because I just see it as I'm the 60th best player. After what I did, I felt like I should have been lower. In regards to that, higher,
lower. We all know what we all know what we
better than 60.
Lower, but higher. Yeah. But I'm just happy and blessed, honestly, to make the list for the first time, and it can only go up from here. That's how I see it.
I know you keep in touch with all the guys in San Francisco. You keep an eye on what's going on there. You love that organization. What do you make of what's going on with Ayuk right now?
First and foremost, I don't know what's been going on with Ayuk and his contract, but I do definitely think he deserves whatever comes his way because he's always stayed quiet. He's never been the most outspoken one unless it's involved his contract issues and stuff like that. And he's a hell of a player. I mean, the guy goes out there, he doesn't say anything. He goes and gets his yards and does what he needs to do. I watched him when he was a rookie, and talking with him when he was a rookie, and just to see the growth, man, I just want nothing but the best for him because he definitely deserves it.
Has money changed Tua?
Nah. Money hasn't changed Tua.
What was he doing with the mic, though? Like, why did he grab the mic?
That was awesome.
No, that was actually I felt like that at that moment for him, it was definitely, it's something that he cherished because he's not a guy that talks a lot. He's humble. He's the most humble human being you'll ever meet. He doesn't talk about what he has. He doesn't talk about all the fame and glory he's had. He's just always wanting to work and get the people around him better. And for him to, have that statement, show me the money, we joke around, me and T-Stead joke around with him right now, right? And it's just all fun, man. It's just happy to see that, especially what he's been going through.
What's the confidence level with a guy like Tua when, you have the criticisms out there of, maybe not as accurate outside the pocket, cold weather, we haven't seen him do it, like in the locker room. Are we confident that he can get over all those hurdles that people put out there?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you've seen what he's done, in college and dealing with, Alabama, his hip injury, right, coming back from that, and then being drafted here by a coach that really didn't want him, and then going through that whole process and looking, we get here first year with McDaniel and he has a stellar career and it's just been going up and up, and his leadership is just unmatched. So this guy comes in and he wants everybody around him to get better, and that's something that you need. And also he takes pride in his lack thereof of all the skeptical things, right? And he just wants to get better each and every day, and you can see it.
Many years ago, Zach Thomas talked about, I wouldn't fight Tim Bowens if I was the only one who had a gun. Jason Taylor said one time he threw a Coke can at Larry Chester and ran away because he was afraid of Larry Chester. And one time Daryl Gardner, I think it was Tim Bowens and Mean Joe Green got into it on the sideline, and everybody was afraid. Who's the Dolphin in the locker room that everybody's just a little bit afraid of?
I mean, it's hard because, well, you got Calais Campbell in that bad boy.
That voice.
He's 6'8", and, that's a grown man status right there. He's played 17 years in the league. I tell him that he's 44, bust his chops a little bit. But when he speaks, it has some validity. That man speaks from the heart, and he speaks true. And you could tell that guy's, he's about the right stuff. And that's something that I'd line up with him. And if he has a problem with somebody, I'm backing him up.
But he's a friendly monster. He's friendly.
But he's hiding behind it.
But you should see him on the field. You see him when we break in the huddle, and you see a 6'8" giant on the other side of the ball. You're like, okay, yep. I'm going to zip these up real quick. Yeah.
Last question before we get you out of here. I don't think it's terribly insulting to be the 60th best football player in the world. Is there another list that's more insulting that you've seen? Because I know you track this stuff. You have the list of all the teams that have waived you. Yeah. You don't like that very much.
Raheem, there's a top 15 list out right now, top 15 running backs, and I don't know who put out the list, but you're not on that list.
I'm not.
You know that, right?
Yeah. I think it's about time for me to come out and say this. Yes, whoever's making those damn lists is definitely, they don't know their stuff.
That's right.
Listen to the man.
That's right.
Just because, you know, if I'm not even a top 15 back and I was a top 10 rusher last year, I mean, come on now.
What are we doing?
Like, what
are we doing?
Yeah, you got guys on the list that, you know, no offense, I think that every back in the league is, you know, superior and dominant in their own perspective ways. But, you know, for me, I feel like, you know, I should be in the top 10. I deserve to be in the top 10, but, you know, that's always fuel. And there's always this year to get even better. So let's go.
You nailed the dismount, sir. Thank you for being on with us. Your neighbors with Stugotz, have you yet met him at his clubhouse? He's promised to spend time with you. He tends to be a bit of a phony.
No, that's not fair, man. You're going to do that to me? We spent time with your wife and your kids. We're out of the rain.
You did. We actually, you know what? We spent plenty of time on the chipping greens. You know, my kids were trying to steal a couple of his golf balls.
Yeah. And I was trying to steal theirs.
Yeah. But, you know, it was definitely a good time.
But I did stand you up at the bar one time. I did.
Yeah, we ain't going to talk about it.
Okay, no, I believe that. He's the king of that.
I just left him sitting there.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
How do you assess? Is Stugotz game good? Golf game? How is it?
You know what? You
don't have to be nice.
No. Honestly, I saw potential.
He's been playing for 30 years. I saw potential.
I'm always pitching on the green right in front of his house.
Yeah, he's always pitching on the green. So, yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, man, I just want to say thank you guys. You know, I think that your guys' show is awesome. I'm more than honored to be on anytime. Y'all just let me know. Stu, you already know. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.